Gotta move my stream forward up. There we go. So I'm back. From last stream, we ended off with the layout, and there was a lot of work that was done off camera. A lot. Shut up, Alores. Start working. So I put a lot of work in. It's pretty cool seeing the city come together. Gad. So we're gonna see what we're gonna do here. So we have a good chunk of the city, most of this area done, but we still need to do this area and everything. Gotta lay out the districts and stuff. Just temporary for now. It's not even. I'm not sure if some of these districts will stay the same. Like, this is considered a district and everything. It's very likely to change later on, but there's that. If you're wondering for the season 4 perspective 2, that will be some other time. There's some stuff. It's done, but there's some stuff that needs to be tested before. And once it's announced, it won't be for another like 2 weeks till that releases. Anyway, so yeah, if you're still really worried about that, just continue grinding. But you do have a while. But back to what I'm working on is the city. So we got a lot going on. I'm not sure exactly where I want to start first. I was maybe thinking this area, but I'm not sure. I was thinking maybe some car shop, but I don't know if I want to make this the car shop or perhaps move it more in the middle of the city. I'm not sure. Right over here we're gonna have a little fast food restaurant and stuff. This area is more like the buildings are shorter. This is where like some of the apartments will be and everything. So we have that planned out. We got 2 main highways. Originally I only planned for 1, but I felt that the city felt a bit too similar if there was just many 2-lane roads. So there's 4. There's another one I added over here. Then I went around, started planning out some of these districts. Districts will be something that that's where most of the gameplay will be around. Those are like center points for players to go and meet up at. That's where a lot of action will be going on. I'm not sure if I'll do a rural area yet right now, because there is going to be this other side of the map, but that's not important to me right now. I just want to get the main city done, because it's very likely that what you see right now, this area, will probably be the only playable area for now on release. But the goal is to have more later on, because I don't see why the map would just stay the same size forever. There will be expansions later on. So what you see right now, what's built, the layout and everything, this is most likely going to be what you'll be able to play in release. And then there'll be more stuff I want to add in. Because I do want to expand on this side. I want to add a little desert area. It's missing right now in this map, but I do want to add it back. But that's not very important to me right now. Then, when it comes over here, I'm thinking of adding a tunnel. So you're going to have like a little mountain here. It's to separate the desert area and everything. So that's going to be interesting. All right. Now it's time to start putting gray boxes everywhere. So, what I need to decide is what's going to be here. We have a motel here, but I need these 2 plots to be filled out. And then I also need this. But it's a bit annoying trying to fit some buildings in, trying to figure out what I want, especially when it does this. Because it's not as simple as just placing a square and then just moving it around. It's not fun. But we'll deal with that. So I think we're just going to go back on this side and start doing stuff. So I want this area to be somewhat open. But I want to fill up the gaps in space here first. Okay. So we'll move this around. Make this taller after I finish this little part. There we go. I have no idea what you're talking about because I haven't kept up with Spectre ever since, so there should be a bug though. You're not supposed to really be invincible from any tool. So it's 109. We'll do 97. One thing I really want to do that I've already done so far is the more in the center you are, the taller the buildings are, but the more as you start to go away from the center, you start to come across these shorter buildings. They're not as tall as much. Okay, this area I definitely want it to be some sort of alleyway. So I think we're gonna go with 3 separate buildings here. Move this down and see. Put the sidewalks and everything. I can't wait to finally get around to detailing the buildings, because right now it's just all squares, all blocks, and everything. But once the details start to be added in, I think it's gonna look really cool. So how wide do I want this building to be? We'll go with 100. There we go. This around. And because I don't want it to just be rectangles over and over again, I do want to add a little area here. There we go. Now the fun part is determining the building height after this. It's very possible that later on I will maybe shrink some of these buildings down, because right now they're very tall. Oh, boo, aerophobes. I forgot silicon exists. Ooh. I thought you got out of business. Ooh. I don't even remember. What's silicon? My favorite thing is hearing that a new game will be released in end of 2022, only for it not to what do you call it? Release. Ooh. Silicon is it's a very forgettable group. Okay, we'll go with 193 here. We got a very tall building here. I don't want it to just be like a staircase up, because this right here bothers me quite a bit. Should probably do something about that. Nah, forget it. Wait, okay. How are these? Because this is... Alright. It looks a bit too unnatural when the buildings just kind of line up as a staircase, but I also don't want it to just all be super tall. I want some mixed stuff in here. So we'll go around, do that. And I'll probably end this up at 133. There we go. So that way, you got a pretty good area, just a little alleyway here and everything. Because this area is just going to be a block. The point is, my main goal with this map is while a lot of the buildings won't be, and like, you can't enter, I do want a lot of buildings to have space in between, such as like alleyways and stuff. Right now they're all just 22 studs wide, but in the future some alleyways will be tighter than the others. Because I believe, is it over here? Somewhere over here. Like this is just 11 and everything. I don't know why Spectre 1 doesn't mention Spectre 2. It still says it's releasing in June. That is completely old news. It's been out for a long time now. No idea why it still says that. God, just trying to think of what I want to do here can get really annoying. We'll leave it like that. Do I? Yeah, I will block out this area. Okay. I'm gonna go with 97. We'll just decide what this building could be later. There we go. Oh man, I would love to do something, but I can't. I can't show off any gameplay yet of this game yet. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Then probably gonna block out this area too. Maybe. Alright, we'll try blocking it out first to see how it goes. We'll go with 213. There we go. Tall, but not too tall, so it doesn't put any shadows on this parking lot. But not too short either. Project Argon is an open world game. The gameplay will be discussed more in the future once the prototype stage is done. So it's open world. It's mainly group based. You can create like clans and stuff and control certain points of the map. But if you're a solo person, there will be other things in this game that you can do for solo players. But this game is mostly aimed for group players, but there will be stuff you can do as a solo. No developer has any interest to work on Spectre 2 anymore. Especially since we're kind of burnt out on working on horror games constantly. We want to diversify. I don't know. I am interested in doing another horror game at some point, but it's not in my near future right now. I already mentioned this before on stream, but I could see myself returning, but I don't see myself returning to Spectre. If I were to make another horror game, I want it to be brand new, and I also want to actually make it scary, because if there's one thing I think that Spectre 2 and 1 did not capture well to me is it's the horror. I think they both had weak horror elements to it. It could have definitely been improved on. So there's that. Make a little garage thing here. There's one thing I really want to do is add like some roads going above, but I have no idea how I'll fit that in yet. I'll try experimenting with it later. Because right now, for the most part, this map is mostly flat. It has mostly to deal with driving. But I do want more like ramps and stuff. Since if we come over, oh, it's this highway. If we come over here, there's like a little ramp you can go on and stuff, like the bridge you'd go on. I want to add more of that. I just don't know where yet. There's stuff that I'll have to experiment and everything. Because again, it's very likely there's going to be a lot of stuff in this map that changes. Like what you see here is buildings will obviously be finished and everything, but the shape could be very well different. Some buildings could be moved around. Who knows? I don't know if this building will still stay here. Maybe it'll move up here. Maybe it'll move there. I don't know. But the main goal is to get a general idea of what is what in this area. This game, there'll be guns in this game and everything. But we also, while this game is mostly focused on PC and console, we're trying to make sure that it also plays on mobile. I can't promise that it'll be on every mobile device. I like that it'll run fine. But the goal is for this game to be playable on mobile. That is something we do want to work on. This game isn't just PC and console. But again, like I said, it's really hard to juggle with mobile, whatever. We'll go with. I want this side to be skinnier. But it is something we're looking at. We don't want this game not to be playable on mobile, but it will be a bit difficult to do. I think this is where the interesting part will come in. So we're gonna have like a little corner store here. Very short. 25 and everything. So it'll be 25 tall. Go up 70. 40. Just a little tiny building here and everything. Yeah. Oh boy. I could only imagine if there was a map this big on Spectre. It would have been cool to attempt, but let me just say right now, it would have not played out well at all. there is no shot that it would have ran well at all. Okay, so this area will be like, I think, the tallest point on this side. Where a lot of the apartments will be and everything. And like I said, I really want this area to be like super short. Hold on. There's just a lot of stuff we couldn't really do with Spectre in general. Yeah, the map's empty because it's not even close to being done. This is very far from the final product. I think I want a tight alleyway here. It would be very cool to have like a GTA game on mobile, but that's a bit far. That's a bit far. Just a little. 80. But it would be cool to see in practice, but it wouldn't exactly work at this current moment. Oh, I moved that road on accident. Oopsie. Hold on. Let me think here for a little bit. Trying to see how I want to do this. Okay. I think, I don't know if I want to make this area a maze. Yeah, I think it kind of look cool, but at the same time, I don't know. I try to get a little mental image or whatever, but we'll see. I'm gonna try laying it out and everything. Let's move this around. Do that. Here. Here and everything. So we have a tall building there. This one will probably be like mid-size. Nothing too tall, nothing too tall. So let's drag this down to 49. Oh, what did I just grab? How? Huh. Good, I didn't move it on accident, but just have to check. And then, once again, back here we'll have like a little tiny store. Nothing too crazy. Well, 25 again. A GTA Online on Roblox would be very cool, but as of right now, I don't think it should be attempted. Mostly because of how Roblox rules are everything. Now, when Roblox allows, let's say, 18 plus games on the platform, I think that's when it will work work really well. It's just right now there's limited. I mean, it's not impossible, but I just think that overall, if you're to make a game like GTA Online on Roblox, you're gonna need a bigger age gap, and as of now, Roblox really doesn't allow that. But I sure hope they do soon. Yes, we have a lot of buildings here and everything. The map is big because it's open world. You know, I never thought about adding a watermelon, but perhaps we should. Well, that'd actually be cool, though. Shooting a watermelon and it pops. It would be fun to have that around the map randomly. So this game it's open world. There's a lot of it'll be PvP, driving, and all that. We're trying to make driving really good. I would showcase driving, but we don't want to showcase driving at all till we have it perfected. We want it to be on terms of, but in short, we want driving to be done super well. We want it so where people have like car meetups or race on the street. Like, we want to support all different types. Like, we want to go super in depth, like all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, all that. You could shoot out tires. It'll mess with your physics. It'll mess with all your drifting and everything. There's just so many things we want to do with cars, and we want to make sure it's done properly. We don't want to just have driving for driving. We want driving to be one of the main aspects. We want PvP to be a main aspect. There's just so much stuff we want to do. We don't want to put something in the game where a player will join and overlook it, and that's it. They're like, okay, I don't really care. We really want to have driving just done super well. And same with combat. Like, I'm not sure how melee will be, but I don't want every melee weapon to play exactly the same. I want some melee weapons to do more damage to other parts of the bodies. Then we have guns. There'll be different type of guns. Like, so the reason, the map is massive and all. You'll have sniper rifles and stuff, or you could get ARs and stuff. But then when you reach areas like these, where it's much more tight, closer, you want to switch to like a pistol or an SMG or a shotgun and everything. We just want every single play style to be viable, and we don't want it so that one player style conquers them all. That is something we really want to avoid. And like driving, there's a lot of areas you can drive. This whole highway, this was added for driving. This area right here, the reason why it's so straight, this is where we want a lot of people to race. This is where, okay, maybe you want to race your buddy and see who has the fastest car. Meet up here. It's just a straight shot. No turns, no twists. Just a straight shot. And you get to see properly who has the fastest car. Or maybe you want to race, but you don't want to do just have a straight shot. You can drive around the highway. Or maybe you want to go into these one lanes and stuff. More tighter roads. There's just a lot we want to do. And we want to have many different ways to just go around, maneuver around the map and everything. And due to that, we won't have any flying vehicles like helicopters or stuff, flying cars. That's just out of the question. If there's one thing I really hate about GTA Online, that's when some person with an oppressor Mark II starts flying around and ruining the game. And in my opinion, I think that ruins a lot of open world games. Because when you're a new player and you're loading in a session for the first time on any online game, and there's just a guy flying around just killing everyone, it demotivates the player. There's like, okay, well, I can't fight against them. I have no weapons. They have control over the air. And then you just get bummed out and you don't want to play anymore. And that's something we want to avoid with this game. So we want vehicles to be very fun, but we also are avoiding flying vehicles, anything that gives you air. Because at the end of the day, we want everything to be grounded. And I think that would just kill this game. Because if you could just get a helicopter, fly all the way here, just to this other corner, in like no risk, just super quick, you're there. I don't see the fun, and I think it's just not fair, in my opinion. But when we have cars and everything and all that, it'll be fun. And because we get to focus only on cars, we won't have to focus about how vehicles work and all that. We'll just be like, okay, well, have we tried out how the cars work and everything? It gives more incentive for people to get into driving in this game. So that's the main goal. Will we complete it? I hope so, because I would really love to see what people do with cars. We want it to be very customizable in this game, along with weapons and stuff. I don't want weapons to just be, okay, you point and shoot. I want weapons to have advantages. I want weapons to be better than others and all that. I was adding a military base in the previous version of this map. there was a military base, but as of now, it's not here. If I were to ever expand the map, which of all the places I expand first, this area would most likely be like a dock area, nothing too crazy. But if I were to expand, if there were to be a military base, it'd probably be on this side of the map somewhere. I'm not sure if we will have a military base, but it is something I have looked into before. And I do want to add something like that. Okay, so this area, I like already. It's very tight. A lot of different type of buildings we can do here. Tight alleyway too. Allows people to hide or whatever, fight. Who knows? Again, there's just so many things I want to do with this game. And this is what I missed. This is it's been a while since the development team has been this excited for a game. We all are very excited to see how this goes. Well, Follies and I have been working very hard. Aloris has started to slowly come into development and all that. I just can't wait. The question is, what do I want this area to be? I think this backside will need to be somewhat taller. I don't know yet. Oh, I think I know what I want to do first. I think I want to make start setting up the tunnel and everything. So when you first enter this area, obviously it may be a bit hard to imagine right now, but this area will be like a mountain, kind of like a cliff. So it'll be like a cliff that ends up here and everything. So the tunnel will begin here. You start driving, and then the tunnel will end around here somewhere, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure where the tunnel will end yet, but I want the tunnel to end somewhere on this side before it reaches this intersection. I'm not sure if we're gonna have any quests. It is something I would like to do, but right now our main focus is getting the PvP aspect all set up. Let's just do this 3 studs thick. Actually, no, we'll stick with 4. This map will not have that many trees. It's mostly the goal. The goal for this is for the city to be very. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a cyberpunk feel. It's not like no, there is no trees, but there won't be as much. The only places right now, I'm thinking this area will probably be like a park. But for the most part, there won't be many trees. It'll be mostly rocks and stuff. But there will be a lot of water and stuff. In the way I can describe it, I would say it's an industrial cyberpunk city that's by the water, like Water Bay area, with very few trees. But I do want this area to be like a park and stuff. And then maybe some dead trees here and everything. But for the most part, it mostly will be buildings and rocks. Because that's just how the city is trying to fit. The goal is to make this city feel like it's dead. It's constantly gloomy and all of that, and all. So it's this game's completely a different genre. I don't know. We have discussed about maybe story for it, but that's just completely out of the blue right now. It's just like, okay, it's a cool idea. I would love to attempt it, but it's not like it's happening for sure. It's more like something we thought about, but there will be some sort of like backstory to this game and all that, but not too much. Hold on, what was tunnel? I feel like that tunnel is too big. Pretty sure if I load in the game, I accidentally show something though. Okay. I'm gonna pray to God there's not much. Okay, yeah, that's the only thing that shows. Yeah, I think the tunnel is a bit too tall. We'll go down to 20. No, no flying vehicles at all. That is the one thing we're saying no to, because we feel that will kill the entire game and everything. Because we want everything to stay grounded and all that. And especially, that's a major turnoff for a lot of new people, is when they see a lot of flying vehicles, that you can't compete with it. We're not. Do I want to do wedge yet? No, I need to do this. Park. What is this orientation? Is this 40? Yeah, it is 45. Actually, what am I doing? I need this to be more like curved in a way. But there will be something in this game. I think we were discussing. I'm not sure exactly for sure, but I think we were discussing about abilities for your character, since we're going for a cyberpunk feel, we want implants and stuff. You'll probably be able to get cybernetics that allow you to like move around faster. So like probably cybernetics that let you double jump and all that. But nothing too crazy, because again, like I said, we really want to. We want the game to be all about staying on the ground. Here and see how it looks. Okay, yeah, not too bad. There'll be ways to earn money and stuff. It won't be. You'll be able to customize your character. It's not your own avatar, but it's not preset either. You'll be able to fully customize your character. So It's not like Spectre where it's outfits and stuff. You will literally be able to customize any part of your character, but you won't be able to use your own avatar. The main reason is that we want it to fit, you know, in line with the rest of how the characters look. We don't want, you know, goofy packages and all that, but we also want to give more freedom to how your character can look, so you'll have that. It'll be mostly like, we'll see. I just realized, how will this work? Ooh. Uh-oh. It's not gonna be a fun way to do it. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. How would... Okay. Let me see how a tunnel usually looks then. Let me get a reference. It's usually a circle. You know what? Well, forget it. I will just have to suffer later on when I get to that part. But there was some really cool stuff. And then when it comes to the story and everything, like I said, there's not much going on for it right now. But it will most likely be... It will be set in the Spectre universe still. But I'm not going to go too in-depth about it. Again, if you're coming into this game expecting like a full-blown story, it's not going to be a full-blown story. But there will be little like details and stuff like, oh, you know, mostly background building. It's not like the entire story in one go. That's not what we're doing. And stuff. It'll just be references and stuff and all that, just to build up anything else. So that in case we do want to make a game around the current timeline, what it's in, we'll have ideas and all that. Yeah, there will be references to past characters and all that. That's just how we always wanted it to be. Well, that's how I always wanted it to be. Just only important characters. It's not like a ton. And even then, a lot of these characters won't be referenced. Especially since the timeline it's in is more in the near future. A lot of them are by that point forgotten, so. But there will be characters. I think of the only character I think you can really expect to get referenced is possibly Mason Winters and all that. But you won't get a reference. Okay, yeah, there'll be a reference to Raymond because he's kind of the reason why cybernetics even happened in the first place. Mostly because the world finds out, okay, he made life better, but then was killed off, and people want to recreate it, but people don't want to go through the ethical. But hey, you don't have to make it so you're biologically better. You can make it so you're cybernetically better. And all that. It'll be interesting to see where we can take this. Okay, so we have like a little tunnel area currently going on. This is gonna be very interesting. Trying to finish it up. Check something really quick. Where did it go? What? I'm not sure how in-depth we're going with the cars and everything, but they're gonna be pretty in-depth. Like I said, there'll be different type of wheel-supported drives and all that. And because it's an open world game, there's no main character either, so there's that. Ooh, this is gonna be very interesting. Put this there. I want to see how it looks when I do this. Thankfully, I won't have to worry how this looks on the outside because it's all gonna be inside. The whole mountain will cover this. I'm working alone because I'm the only builder on this project. But low polys is all the scripting right now. I don't know if there will be more builders for this. It would be nice, but I don't see myself struggling right now. Granted, this is a very simple stage. When it comes to actually detailing the map and everything, that's not gonna be fun. Oh yeah, this is gonna look cool when done. Oh yeah. Really cool. Now the part is, how do I connect these? Hold on a minute. I think I will need to use wedges. Let me test this first. I don't remember if it works, but maybe there is. No, there won't be any references to the ghost because by the time it's even in this time period, they're all gone and everything. There's not much going on at that point. They're just basically all wiped out. Yeah, that's the main reason why a lot of the characters are forgotten. And mostly because it's a new bad guy anyway. There's no ghosts. After Spectre 2, all the ghosts are gone a year after Raymond's death. Once Raymond dies and the Tridents are disbanded, a year later the ghosts are fully gone. There are, like, if I ever do another horror game, it most likely follow up the end of just completely ending it all. It'd not be a ghost hunting game. It'd be basically like one last ghost, and that's the end. You wouldn't have to find out what type it would be. Because if it's another hunting game, it would have been a Spectre 3 at that point, but I'm not trying to make another Spectre. I'm good. So that is how I will fix all of this. Without having to worry about it too much. There we go. Much better. That way when I connect it, I won't have some weird thing. Yeah, that was her name. There are a lot of things I want to do. Like, I want to make a game just based around Samantha and all that. I don't know. I feel like I really want to properly end the Spectre 2 story, but I'm not sure. Again, I don't know. Because I'm super bummed out that we never did the story mode for Spectre 2. It was something we really wanted to do, but with all the development just stopping at this point, it basically will never happen. The only way I see anything for it being concluded is there's like a short comic run or something. That is something I am still looking into, is maybe doing a comic run for Spectre 2 from the beginning to the end. That way you can experience the story still. It won't be like the full experience, but it'll go through each chapter that I had originally planned for. And that way it's not confusing, because the way that Spectre 2 ended, you kind of have to go online to see it. To see, oh, this is how the story ended. Which isn't really ideal. If you're a new person trying to get into the lore and everything, it's like, ooh. And I do want to give it a proper send-off. And that's another reason, is that if we do any future games like this one, yeah, it'll reference some characters, but for the most part, it's a new cast. Yeah, a lot of the characters in Spectre 2 were just there, really. They either died or just were gone. Okay. Now let's attempt to make this look right. Ooh, that was not supposed to happen there. Let's see. So all the default characters were involved in some way. That's it. But some of them just barely had importance in the story. They're basically the way Spectre 2 is. I forget the time. I think it's a year, 6 months or a year. The story doesn't actually begin till like 6 months or a year later after they're hired. But by then, they're all dead. I never. Oh, I forgot that side is going to be different. This side will be perfectly fine because I won't have that weird issue. See right there, it's perfect. Okay. I'll just have to figure out all that. a lot of them were just killed off in a little accident. It's not an accident. They were murdered. Or and all that. Some retired. They don't get ever appear again because there's no point. They're not in trouble anymore. They get to live a happy life. So some characters got to live a happy life. They don't. Not every single one died, but quite a few are dead. Figure this out. This is something the first if you didn't know, there's a map before I made a hold on, I am blanking. Okay, this is my second time doing this open world map. The first time I did a lot. I did the terrain, but I was not happy with how it turned out, so I'm redoing it. And this is the first time this tunnel has shown up. Actually, it's the first time I've even experimenting with the tunnel, and I think this is gonna look really cool, especially when I add in the mountain. Driving here is just gonna be really cool. Like if you started a race here and you're just driving, doing the tunnel, and then you exit out the tunnel and everything, that'd be cool. I don't know the exact year of this game. What's the timeline will be? It'll be sometime. Hold on, am I looking at that? Oh yeah, okay. It'll be sometime after 2050. So that's at least 20 years minimum from Spectre 2. It's not like super futuristic, but there will be there'll be some aspects of futuristic stuff. It's not like all over the place where all that there's like no flying cars, but again, like I said, a lot of it is mostly just cybernetics. At least that is something we're trying to incorporate. I'm liking this tunnel. I'm liking this tunnel. Yeah, a lot of characters by then are just like they're gone or retired, like I said. There's only one if we were to ever to do a story, there's only one character that would ever return from Spectre 2. The rest are just a brand new cast. There's this really cool game idea I have, but I won't say anything about it. But if it ever is done, if the game idea I really want is ever completed, a lot of the Spectre 2 cast, well, the ones that are alive, would come back. But that game would be the complete end. There is a game idea I have where it completely ends the entire story, for the most part, for a lot of those characters. And that's how it sets up the future. There's a certain time in the timeline where that's the end for a lot of the characters. Like, that's how some just get written off. That's when they retire and all that. There's no point. They're never caught ever again. There's no reason for them to get involved afterwards. They just get to live peaceful. And that's when the future cast is just focused on. Yeah, most characters were 20 or 30. Oops. It's a bit hard to make the characters kind of look like 20 and like young adults in Roblox. So I'm not surprised some people think, oh, this character is way older than I thought. Because I know some people think Mason is, what, 40? I don't think he... I think he's... What is his age again? I think 34? 35? Let me pull it up again. I always have a general idea what their age is, but I don't have the exact idea. That's why I have an entire document for that. Oh, so he's 30. Oh, yeah, no, he's 32. I was thinking about Spectre 1 Winters. He's older. But I know some people were shocked that, oh, Winters is only 32. Yeah, there will definitely be lights in this tunnel. I can't wait to see how it will look. Yeah, Winters is 32. Again, like I said, it's very hard to tell what a character's age is because they all look like they're 18 or 40 or 50. Gonna have a little walk up. I know a lot of people were shocked that when Winters was actually 30. So there'll be like a little walkway here. Yeah, not every character just dies, but a lot of... I'd say quite a few die, but some characters get to live happy. They don't get absolutely brutally murdered right away. But some characters will. And some characters do. Yeah, the group was called Crimson Pact. It was mostly crime-related stuff too, they did. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to find out how to fill up those gaps, because it creates a little weird shape. Ow, my knee. Tess helped the group with intel mostly. And then she gets hunted down later. She survived the end of Spectre too, but she does get hunted down by James Phoenix later. Okay, so I think that's the best I can do in this tunnel right now. We'll have to come up with more soon there. Overall, this is coming really close to a finish finally. Just a few more squares here I gotta fill up. And that's it. I'm gonna come back here really quick and finish up this area. Trying to see what I want this little area to be. Samantha is probably the one character that is very likely to return in a future game. Not in this game, but definitely in a future game. Yeah, I would say out of any characters that you're most likely to see again, that's not in just Spectre 2, would be Samantha with Garrison. Those two are basically the duo partner. They're not romantically interested, but they're basically partners, crime partners at this point. A detective and a lawyer. The Mason Winters would most likely appear in one other game. Same with Breland. And then out of any character I'd say you see most likely to return in multiple games, it would be James Phoenix, but mostly because he's the villain. You unlock vehicles with money. I'm not sure if we'll even have levels. I'm not sure. It's very possible, but again, not exactly sure. Yeah, Scarlet's another important character, but I'm not exactly sure where it should come back. The next time I'll stream again will be... Let me pull up my schedule again. I'll be streaming again on the 27th, so in 5 days. I will usually alternate my streams, so next week will be Monday, that's the 27th, and the week after will be Wednesday, and then same thing for Monday. It'll basically repeat Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, and all that. I have no idea how long this game will take. We'll make an announcement in the near future, but I'm not sure yet. But we'll have an estimated area very soon when it will announce. There we go. Sure, I'll show you my plugins. So my plugins, I'll showcase them really quick. I just need to get out a little part here really quick. Crazy. So we're gonna create a little area. I like this plugin that I'm about to show up. So we have Archimedes, however I say that, launch. You're gonna click apart. Then once you do that, you'll see right here there's an amount. Okay. No, Lopez is not working right now. We usually switch. When I work, I'm usually working alone, and then he usually works alone too. But sometimes we will be working at the same time. So I like this plugin a lot. What happens is it creates a perfect circle. Not fully there. I accidentally pressed that one. But as you can see, it created a really cool circle there. So there's that. Then next one we have. This is model resize. You won't be needing this now that Roblox is officially supporting. You can resize models, even the finer details now. So this plugin isn't really necessary. This one I never use, but I keep it just in case. The brush tool. What is the... Oh, so the brush tool... This one's really cool. So I can activate a brush, and then as you can see, it is spawning trees all over the place. It's pretty cool. So if I want, I can add this, have the brush menu put up, and then I can add it to brushes. And then I can select multiple at once, activate a brush, and now it's mixing in parts and trees all around. That I highly recommend. Highly. So we'll turn that off. I don't need that right now. Then of course, data store editor. That's mostly a script inside, but I have that because that's how I edit people's data on Spectre. Paint to click. Love this one. Press C to copy the color. Move over here, and now it is the same material and color as that. So that one's really useful. I really like. Part picker. What happens is you click a part. Okay, so let's say I wanted to find all smooth plastic parts named gray box. I'll run a filter and it will select all 600 parts with the exact properties I need. That one is very useful. CSG I don't use much. Gap fill, pretty good. Gap fill is very, very handy. But what I use more often now is I use resize align. So, resize align. The difference between these two, gap fill, if we do gap fill right here, it will create a new part. That is its main job. Whereas resize will take both of these parts and line them up accurately. It is now lined up. It didn't create a new part. It just took the two old parts and resized them to be perfect. Then we have material flip. Allows you to flip a material. So as you can see, the material on the road is being flipped around constantly and all that. That one is also very useful. That one I use often. When it comes to textures and lighting, I do that. And that's mostly it. Then we have a rename plugin, all that. So if I want to select a huge group of parts, I can then, click this, rename, and then give them all a number, 1 to 100 and all that, how many parts are selected. That one's also useful. And that's mostly it. And then I also have this curve generator. This one's very cool to create like wires and stuff on the ceiling. So, as you can see, it's pretty cool. So those are the main plugins I use. Out of all the stuff I would say I use daily is resize align. I use very often. That is probably my #1 used plugin. Paint on click is probably my second use, and then brush tool is my third. So those are my top 3 used. And then, oh yeah, I also have load catalog items. That's how I make characters when I did Spectre. When I would make characters in Spectre 2, I'd load in catalog items, put it on the character, see how it looked and all that, and then if I liked it, I'd keep it on them and then just save it and move on and all that. So those are the stuff. So the buildings I think you'll be able to enter, let me show you, I think this building will most likely be enterable. This will probably be a gun shop. We'll have clothing stores, implants. I'm not sure. You'll probably be able to enter the car shop. For the most part, most buildings can't be entered. Because again, that's just how open world games are. A lot of open world games don't. It creates the illusion that every single building has life in it, when in reality it doesn't. But there'll be some buildings you'll be able to enter and all that. But most of this game will take outside. So there's that. But a lot of the buildings you can enter, they'll mostly have something inside that you can buy. So I'm trying to figure out what I want in this last area is annoying. It gets really annoying because once same thing happened again. Uh, Once I reached all these remaining squares, it was so easy making the city when there was no squares. Like when nothing was filled in, I just knew what I wanted. But when you just have those very last few things, it is really annoying trying to figure out. This map will definitely have a mini map. You'll have a mini map to traverse, especially since it would be annoying trying to find some stuff, uh, and all that. And plus, there'll need to be areas. You'll see, you know, where certain areas are being controlled by what player and all that, and what group. At least that's how I believe it'll work. I'm not sure. The mini map will definitely show you where like the gun store is, the shops, like all the shops and all that. So you won't have to worry about that. But I do think there'd be a lot of cool. I think what I do want to do. This is just a neat idea. I want to do what GTA Online does, where there's the gun van, and the gun van moves every day. I think I'd rather have that weekly, where there's a shop, like a black market shop guy, that every week he changes where he is. You don't see him on the mini map, so you'll have to go around the map and search for him. But there'll be that. I think that would be a really nice thing to have. Is while most stuff you can buy in the stores, I think it'd be really nice to promote map exploration, to have someone or something that moves weekly, so you could just buy special stuff from them, and you can't buy it from a main shop. It's only exclusive to them. We're still deciding how we're gonna do money. There's a lot of stuff we have planned out for money, but we also want to make sure money is fair. When I went to RDC both years, 2022 and 2021, it was okay. I don't think, even if I were to get invited for this year, I don't think I'll go this year. There's just not much there. I feel like after going twice, there's just not much hype around it for me anymore. It got pretty boring. Alright, well, I think there's not much for me left to do. Filled up these squares, all that. Started working on the tunnel. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. So I'm gonna end the stream here. I'll see you guys, like I said, in 5 days. That'll be March 27th. I don't know what time I'll stream that day, but it'll be sometime that day. But I'll see you guys